Well, the pandemic has devastated various segments of the U.S. population, particularly in the black community. Due to a lack of access to the vaccine and distrust in the government, the rates of black people being vaccinated is dramatically low. ABC's Alex Perche has more this morning on what officials are doing to try and rebuild that trust.
Just over a year into the coronavirus pandemic, and the U.S. has already reached the grim milestone of more than 500,000 COVID-19 deaths. Those most affected, communities of color. President Biden's acknowledged it.
The devastation in communities of color has been nothing short of stunning. Just look at the numbers.
The reality of those numbers is felt especially in Washington, D.C. Blacks here are approximately 7 times more likely to die of COVID than whites. When it comes to vaccination efforts, communities like this are too often not getting doses, mostly due to lack of access or distrust of the government. Samantha Artiga studied the disparities for the Kaiser Family Foundation.
Black and Hispanic people were receiving smaller shares of vaccinations compared to their shares of cases and deaths and the overall population.
Ward 7 in Southeast D.C. is 92% black. Reverend Kendrick Curry of Pennsylvania Avenue Baptist Church says he's buried more people in the last year than he can remember, almost all from COVID.
This thing hurts.
For Reverend Curry, COVID-19 vaccinations aren't just a necessity, they become part of his calling. The church is in a pilot program partnering with the city to boost vaccination rates.
Throughout history, you found that the black church in particular has been meeting the needs of the people.
The church also combats the element of mistrust that stems from deliberate efforts that harm the black community, like the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. For decades, the government purposely misled black men with syphilis, withholding effective treatments to monitor its untreated effects. They were told the study would last 6 months, but it went on for 40 years.
We have not only historical, but also contemporary evidence related to distrust.
For Reverend Curry, this is also about accessibility. He wants his pop-up clinic where people need it the most. During the middle of our interview, this man, overcome with passion, interrupted.
Working every day, and it hurts. It really hurts. It almost makes me cry. I just want fairness.
He'd have to wait longer. Today's vaccines were reserved for seniors. And that's precisely why Reverend Curry says his work is far from done, hoping his house of faith will give people faith in this vaccine. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.